Thanks for coming. Happy Labor Day. I hope you guys will get some time with your family after. Been able to recap the game. Spent the day yesterday watching the game from Saturday and meeting with our staff. Brought the players in. Recapped the game with our players. Talked about what we needed to get done, how we can get better, some of the things that we did well, and a lot to improve upon. Practice last night. Got off the field and began early preparation for Mississippi State. And then we'll, did a little bit this morning, and now we'll spend the rest of the afternoon and evening on them. I think that the most, what showed up to me the most on Saturday, and really from the film and the TV copy and being on the sideline, was that our players bought into our culture for the game on Saturday. We talk all the time about trusting the process. We talk about playing with passion, loving your teammates, embracing the grind, and play the next play. And I kept hearing our guys say, next play, next play. I kept seeing our guys pick each other up. Felt like the weather was the weather. It was hot out there. And if you listen to our players' quotes or read, they all talked about embracing the grind all summer long, help prepare them for the game itself. And then, the preparation is critical. Trusting the process of getting better is critical. So I feel like they did all of that. Players really produced. The new players, the players that have been here, combination of both really produced at a high level. And then our coaches. We talked about the three pillars, right, of cultures, players, and schematics, the X's and O's, and I thought our coaches did a great job preparing our team and coming up with a great game plan. So proud of the guys, and now it's time to turn the page and move on.
What stands out to you about the way Jacob and Jaden were able to play on Saturday?
They were very efficient. It's probably the first thing that stands out. They were very much in command of the offense. They were able to, they looked very comfortable out there. They played confidently and fast. And when you can play confidently and fast, it gives you your best chance. If you're processing or thinking through every call or where's everybody at or what am I supposed to do versus this coverage, it's going to slow you down. It's going to be an extra half a second, and that's when the pass rush can come affect you.
We've seen teams rotate running backs. Usually it's by series. A guy will come in and then maybe another guy can. You were shuttling guys in and out almost like it was hockey. How did you come up with that system, and do you expect to kind of continue to do that? Well,
I feel really strongly that we have four very good backs that are very capable of playing and helping us win a game. And we didn't, as a coaching staff, want to have three of them on the sideline until one got tired, so to speak. So Coach Graham did a great job of making sure that every chance he had to get someone fresh in the game, he did it. There's some times when you go tempo, you can't always do that. But he was able to take those guys, and I think the carries were, when you talk about carries and catches combined, the amount of touches that each guy had was pretty close to what our goal was going to be for this game. And I think what we were able to do is throughout the game keep giving them a fresh body to have to tackle.
How would you describe Jaden's leadership out there?
Very good, very strong. He has he loves the game of football, and he loves to compete, so he has an infectious personality out there. You could clearly see players were excited to be playing with him and playing around him. He certainly was very prepared to play in this game, and now he'll just continue his preparation. And the more prepared you are, the more people will listen to you, and the more people will follow you. And I thought that was it was pretty evident that people were excited about him being behind center.
When you talk about when he went out there and he threw that pick and you guys get the ball back, it seemed like it didn't phase him. He was able to drive down the field and score a touchdown, big situation there. Just having that, being able to flip the script, not worry about the last play, just seeing that from your quarterback.
Yeah, well, next play mentality is what we've continued to preach all training camp long, all summer long. We practice saying it. We practice saying it on the practice field. If we threw an interception in practice, the very first thing you should hear all of our offensive players say to the quarterback is next play, next play. In the same regard, if you throw a touchdown pass. We tried to work very hard at that, living in the moment, the mindfulness behind living in the moment. And I think he showed it. Interceptions are based on a lot of different things. It's not just based upon one throw or one route. There's a lot of things that have to happen for an interception to occur. They made a good play on the ball. Probably shouldn't have happened on our side of it, but he knew that he was able to go back out there and felt very confident that we could drive the ball down. And it was great to have Jackson get that interception to work as a team there.
How did you feel that Sam Long adjusted to his situation? He was kind of rotating with Peyton early, but then had to go into Jonah and play both positions.
Sam is all training camp shown the ability to play guard and tackle. We've used him as a utility man in that regard. That Brennan has done a great job of making sure that not just the starting five are getting the reps at the starting five's positions, that we've been able to move guys, almost all of them, around, so they're getting reps at other positions, so therefore we're able to be successful if you do have an injury, which we all know in the game of football is going to happen. So Sam wasn't uncomfortable being out there. He was playing some tackle, then playing guard. Obviously, the second half of the game he was playing a lot of guard, and I thought he did a really nice job.
Coming off a win and having an MSU team come in this Saturday, does that create a little bit more of a buzz for a home there, would you say?
Well, I hope all of our fans come. I hope Tucson comes. I would certainly expect a great turnout and expect our fans to continue to support us and even load up the stadium this go around. It's a great opportunity to watch good football. Obviously, we know we have a great opponent coming in town from the Southeastern Conference, Mike Leach coming in town, so they're going to be extremely well prepared and extremely good football team, and our guys are excited about that. And I hope our fans are. I hope that we make this an incredible home field advantage. And we certainly are built for it. I know there's not too much other things going on Saturday night at 8 o'clock, so might as well be here to watch us.
When you saw DJ Williams at his best on film as a freshman at Auburn, did that look like what you saw on Saturday?
Yeah, I think DJ is going to get better. There's certainly he's only, DJ came, he really, 3 days prior to start of training camp. So he didn't have the summer conditioning program. He didn't have the summer strength program. So he's still doing a lot of extra in order for himself to be in the best shape of his life that he can be in for us. There's certainly he's a big body that's plays with a good low center of gravity. So we did see that in his time at Auburn when he was rushing the football. But, all those guys, you could see the benefit of our strength and conditioning program and Coach Owens and his staff. Michael Wiley was, breaking tackles more than he was a year ago. Jonah, brought his weight down to, 215 pounds and was, not letting the first guy tackle him very often. So it was pretty cool to see those guys, and really a credit to Coach Owens and his staff.
What went wrong on the punt?
We were too far back. We had our personal protector was too deep into the end zone. That's on coaching. That's on us. We need to do a better job there, making sure that when you're on the 1 yard line and you only have 11 yards is different than when you're on the 4 yard line and you have 14 yards or 5 yard line and you have 15 yards. When you only have 11, which is the least you can possibly have, you just need to be up further, and we wouldn't have had that problem.
The other two guys move up to block on the line. Is that because of how close?
Yeah, so everyone would have moved up. They mostly all were up. And we just need to do a better job of execution and coaching that, and that's on us, and we got that fixed.
Johnny Nansen a game ball after the game, after watching it then on tape, what did you feel he did best in the way he called it?
We got players to play with great passion. I mean, clearly, statistically, it wasn't hard to make that decision. We held a team to under 100 yards passing. We held a team that scored 38 points against us a year ago to 13. We certainly held a team that rushed the ball for 270 yards against us for 170. And he got his players to play really hard. And it was his first game as a play caller, and I thought that he did a really, really good job, as did the whole defensive staff. You looked at the way the safeties played. Look at the way Jackson Turner and Christian Young played. Siwa was back at safety. Look at the way the corners played. Isaiah Rutherford stepping in for Stukes, and Ciro always playing at a high level. And then the front. I thought the front did a fantastic job of mixing it up. You saw a true freshman in there, Deuce Davis, true freshman Deuce Lane, true sophomore Colby Cage, true freshman Jacob Manu, playing a lot of reps of the game. So it was pretty cool to see all the new faces. Tia coming in as a sophomore transfer. I mean, there's a lot of guys that weren't on this team last year that defensive coaching staff had to get ready.
Manu and Lane weren't on the initial depth chart that you released, but they obviously seemed like they moved up. How would you assess the progress that those two players have made?
Yeah, they moved up. Is really what happened. They had a really good week of practice. They did a great job with the scout team. The week prior to the 4 days or so before the game, and they kept giving a great look. They kept showing up. They kept showing up in conditioning. They kept showing up in the weight room, running fast, being strong, being physical, and being instinctive. And when we saw that, we felt like, that they were maturing faster than maybe we thought, and therefore we had a chance to play some more young freshmen. And that's what we want to do. We want to develop the players that arrived, and we want to keep building off of the foundation that the older guys have built.
You did a good job against Burmeister, but now you've got another quick quarterback coming in, Will Rogers. What about him impressing you?
I haven't seen much about their offense right now, other than what I know. I know he threw 5 touchdown passes. I know that he was an outstanding quarterback a season ago. I know he's a very good passer. I know Mike Leach is always going to have very good passers. There's nothing really surprising in terms of the fact that he's producing, a 400-yard passer. That's what he does. They throw the ball a lot. And the key to being good in that offense is being accurate. And that's what they look for. That's what they found. And I'm sure he'll be a great challenge for us.
When you talked about a number of things that you felt you needed to fix from last year. Red zone is the most prominent one we can think of. When you do something well like that, like you did on Saturday, how many times do you have to do it before you feel like it's actually fixed, as opposed to we had
a fixed red zone on both sides of the ball. We were last in both categories, offensively and defensively, and our defense held them to 25% touchdowns. Our offense held them to 80. Our offense scored 80% of the time on touchdowns. So that was 1 week. That was 1 week. We need to absolutely get better next week or this week coming up in the red zone. We have to do it again. And then we have to do it again. And at the end of the season, we'll evaluate how we've done in the red zone, how we've done in turnovers, how we've done in penalties, just like we did at the end of last season. But right now, it's just a building process. We're just trying to get this better today than we were yesterday. We want to do everything we can to make our last game our worst game and continue to try to build this program to where we can sustain a good competitive football game week in and week out. And that's our goal. And whether that be in the red zone, whether that be with takeaways, whether that be with penalties, whether that be with points, we know that the ultimate goal is to score more than the other team, but we have a lot of work ahead of us to prepare to do that.
You talked about the SEC coming in this weekend. Pac-12 had a nice weekend, going 0-2 against the SEC. Do you pay any mind to conference records when it's Pac-12 versus SEC reputations?
Not really. Really focusing on us. And can we get better today at practice? Can we get better tomorrow from today's practice? Or, Tuesday and then Wednesday, and keep getting better each day. And then we'll see if Saturday we could play better than we did last Saturday, regardless of who the opponent is.
Last question.
Do you
offensive lines. Go ahead. the offensive line's performance overall against San Diego State?
I thought they did a really, really nice job. We gave up 1 sack. It was a smart sack. He could have thrown the ball away. We would have had no sacks, but we wanted the 40 seconds to run off the clock at that point in time. I think Jaden's intelligence showed up there. His football awareness showed up there. There was, I think it was like 5:13 on the clock, and we wind up taking a sack there, and now it's 4:30 rather than 5:12. So that was the only sack of the game. We ran the ball for 170 yards against a really, really good defense. And a team that was giving up 78.3 yards a game rushing a year ago. The other part of it that showed up with our offensive line that I was so impressed with was their preparation. Those guys understood what was coming their way. They were outstanding communicators. I think that was recognized by the other team. They made a comment regarding the preparation of the offensive line, and that's a tip of the cap to Brennan Carroll, Luke McNitt, our analyst, as well as all of our players in the offensive line.
That's our time.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a happy Labor Day.